Yes. Good afternoon, my fellow human beings. Thank you very much for being here with me in the Empowered Woman today with myself, Mafalda, and
Anna.
Anna. And we are going to talk about why is it marriage the best possibility or the best option for relationship management. Okay, so Anna and I, we are very good friends, and I'm asking you, please, Anna, to introduce yourself and tell me or tell the audience who you are, what have you been up to, where you are going to go, and why are we friends?
Okay, so I'm a friend of Mafalda, and we have this very good connection, a professional connection that is very interesting because our work is a complement. Um, in this particular subject, I am a leadership coach, so I expand the consciousness of the leader that you have inside
Mm-hmm.
for men and women. In this case, we talk about women. Um, I think my opinion is that in these days, a good marriage is something that is so valid and it's rare to happen because we as females have lost a part of our sacred femininity, and that's why we are here to talk about it. So,
Mm-hmm.
where am I going, Mafalda? Where I am going to a place of helping the most possible women in the world,
Mm-hmm.
and I hope you too.
Yes, indeed, indeed. Starting by ourselves. Okay,
Yes,
so
starting by ourselves.
by ourselves. Yes, yes.
Yes.
Well, my name is Mafalda. We are very good friends. We have a very outstanding connection in the sense that we are able to talk for hours non-stop and we don't get bored, which is amazing and rare. I have a YouTube channel called Reach the Divine, which I gathered the most intelligent advices to do a professional and marital management. Um, because it's a topic that I always ask myself, why haven't I found a couple that whose complicity and whose energy, either male or female, I would like to say I wouldn't be like that. So I ask myself those questions, and surely enough, a lot of people have studied those issues, and I've which led me to educate myself in that matter and to share my knowledge with other people. Okay, and I totally agree with you that the femininity, it is the magnetism, and very often when I speak to my male counterparts, they often say that the man is stronger than a woman, and then I ask, so in your opinion, do you consider that electricity is stronger than magnetism? And then they make a very long pause because that's what it is. The feminine energy, it is magnetism, and the male energy is electricity. So when you understand those two basic principles, it's very easy to do energetical management because you have to accept what is. And what is that electricity is the strength, is the force, and magnetism is attraction. It is a pulse. Okay, so tell me, Anna, what are the points or the biggest complaints or biggest issues that your clients have and they ask for your help?
Well, usually is a lack of self-trust.
Mm-hmm.
Usually they are women that are not happy in their
Mm-hmm.
relationships. Sometimes they are 3, 4, 5 years with the same man that come and go, come and go. So and they just stand by waiting for them because they know that eventually they will come back, However, they are not happy because they don't trust themselves that they can actually have someone in their lives that will
Fits.
fulfill more, especially uh, a lot of emotions that are not controlled, of rejection, afraid of loneliness, afraid of not finding anyone else. That's the main point. That's what I most find is women that have extreme value, but they don't recognize that value in themselves. So that's why they don't know how to do, they don't know how to change the situation. So they feel stuck. They don't trust. The main problem is self-trust. The main problem is that they don't get empowered to finish that situation that is not making them happy. That's the main problem.
I totally understand that, and I saw myself in that situation. Okay, the negative emotions, they mostly come from traumas that are unfulfilled emotional needs
Mm-hmm.
that the family did not, the family that we were raised into did not manage to fulfill. They were dysfunctional. So they are more or less 30 emotional needs that need to be fulfilled in order for us to feel empowered and sovereign. If any of those needs are failed to be satisfied, we create fears, anxieties, and we
Mm-hmm.
are totally imbalanced. We have a feminine and masculine imbalance that does not maximize who we are. So we do not have the leader of our personality in the full front. We have somebody else, so the critical or the little child or the victim, and those are the issues. Okay, so it's our responsibility as a male or female to raise ourselves in order to become a sovereign human being, an empowered human being, in order to become our highest best self. And for that we have to have a lot of courage to face our traumas, to face our fears, and to say, I will become responsible for my own decisions and for the future of my life. And once you do that, your life immediately changes. Okay,
Yes.
because then you trust your own magnetism. uh, it is something that it is only in the last, I would say, 8 to 7 years, that are issues that you can really, really, really study on the internet, and there are many authors. In the past, you didn't have any information about it. You were
Mm-hmm.
totally lost. You were totally lost. Yes.
Yes. Yes. Completely.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the main point that you just said
Mm-hmm.
is that that's why there are so many women around 35 up. There
Mm-hmm.
are in these, there are stuck in these situations because they don't know how to solve the situation. They don't know how to end that. But in these days, it's much easier. There are a lot of professionals that can help and a lot of information. And
Mm-hmm.
it's only a matter, actually, yes, courage, like you said, and it's a choice.
Mm-hmm.
It's a choice. And I always say every step you take,
Mm-hmm.
every choice you make,
Mm-hmm.
it's
Mm-hmm.
going to define your tomorrow.
Yeah, indeed, indeed,
Mm-hmm.
indeed,
Yes.
indeed.
And
Well,
that's
how do you say to your client, you really need to change your attitude, or you really need to shift
yes.
your
You need
approach?
to
Because
shift. Yes. Well, that depends a lot on the kind of person that I have in front of me, because
Mhm.
there are women that say, "I want to change. I want to end
Yes.
this thing. It's over," and they are really like angry.
Mhm.
So to those kind of clients,
Mhm.
what I do is use that anger. Okay, transmute that anger into
Mm-hmm.
strength,
Mm-hmm.
and into, so that they have the focus to transmute everything inside of them, and that they have the focus to a new life that they want.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so all that energetic field that has to change, all those emotions that have to be transmuted. But if I have a client that is crying, totally victimized, in that case, I just treat them with hope, that, and I
Mm-hmm.
remember them that they are a powerful being inside a body,
Mm-hmm.
and that she has to honor the woman and the
Mm-hmm.
little girl that once she was, when she was 10 or 12.
Yes, yes, yes.
And then they cry even more, but
Mm-hmm.
then they say, okay, you're right, it's time to do something. I can't do this anymore to myself, so I can't hurt
Mm-hmm.
myself anymore. So those are different approaches, because people are different, and it depends on where the energy of that person is. If the
Okay.
energy is in victimization or in the anger, so
Mm-hmm.
they're like, they're polarized. Okay,
Okay. Very
victimization,
clear.
anger. So it's like different approaches. Yes, it
Okay.
depends a lot on how the person is reacting. Yeah.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Well, I know that we are both sensible people, so we are both indigos, and we feel other people's energies. When you are next to them, you really feel their density, right? And they feel a lot of commiseration and a lot of sadness and a lot of anger, and they need a lot of spiritual guidance.
Mm-hmm.
They need a lot of truth telling. They need a lot of come on, lift
Yeah.
yourself up, you know.
Yes. Yes.
And it's
And
uh,
it's actually part of the healing
mm-hmm,
for you as a woman or as a man. I mean, but in this case, we are talking about women. For you to
women.
remember that
Mm-hmm.
you are a spirit being on your body.
Yes,
And when you
having
remember
a.
that, when
Mm-hmm,
you remember that, when you remember that you are a lot more than that body and all those stories in your head and in your heart hurting you, when you remember that, the strength that and that happened to me.
mm-hmm,
So my strength to stop with toxic relationships came from that, came
mm-hmm,
from my divine consciousness when I integrated that in my
mm-hmm,
life, in my choices, in my body.
mm-hmm.
So when I
I've
start
accepted. Mm-hmm,
respecting my body as the
mm-hmm,
temple of a spirit, that is
mm-hmm,
me. And so I have to honor it, honor my body, honor my choices, honor my little girl here inside me, honor
mm-hmm,
my spirit. So it's so much self-love.
mm-hmm,
Um, that's exactly what you need: self-trust, self-love on who you are.
mm-hmm.
That's
I totally agree with it. Just told me that we are one of my favorite comedians is called Bill Hicks, and he says it's just a ride. We are a bundle of very fast uh, spirit, very fast energetical beings having a physical experience that is just a more dense energy. and
Mhm.
uh, and it's just a ride, and it is your conscience and it is your conscience that determines the reality you're going to live in,
Mhm.
because the universe is holographic and everything is happening at the same time, and there is no time and space, and it's your decisions connecting with your emotions and your actions that determines your reality. So everything you were told since you're a little girl is just a ride.
Yes,
It's
just a
just a
ride.
ride.
Yeah.
and
That's
and
the way to view it. That's the way to view it.
it is. And
Definitely. Yeah.
yes, and the greatest the goal for me, as I understood it, is to feel gratitude. The more gratitude you feel, the easier you can manifest.
Oh,
And
yes.
if you have a very exactly idea what you want your life to look like, the faster whatever you are imagining is going to take place. Okay, because you are
Yes.
attuned attuned to the love. The more you are attuned to the love and to the divine, whatever you manifest, it will happen. As
Yeah.
taking into consideration is for the greater good of all. Okay. And
Yes.
yes, and if you are in fear, or if you haven't solved the traumas that you have been victimized, it will be harder, much harder for you to manifest. You will keep manifesting the same crap instead of alchemizing that energy and to become your highest best self.
Yes.
And yes, the I've also only in the last 2 years I've learned how to do things from the perspective of love, which is very, very, very. It's most of us. I had a very nice conversation with a very good friend of mine, Sonia, and we were talking about the apocalypse. And the apocalypse, as we all know, means lifting the veil. And she was saying that she's very, very cut. You know, Mafalda, most people don't even feel anything. You know, and when Christ comes, you know, the amount of love we will going to feel, it's going to be so beautiful, so pure, so honest, so amazing that it even hurts to feel it.
Yeah.
And then oh yeah, you're right. I mean, you know that
So good that it hurts.
it hurts. You know, most people. Oh my God! It's about those people that are they don't know what love is. They don't know what tenderness is. They don't know what warmth is. They don't know anything. So when you hug them, they When you kiss them, they When you do something nice, oh, it's disgusting, and that's not the
Yes, they have a resistance. A lot of people have a resistance to receive the blessings. Most
It's
of
a
them
distortion of the feminine energy because feminine energy is about receiving and the masculine.
receiving. Yes,
Yes,
and
and the
most of us actually have a problem with receiving because our
mm-hmm,
hierarchic system
mm-hmm,
made us believe that if you want to receive, you have to work a lot, you have to be like a slave, you have to do everything like you're told to. However, when you love yourself, when you trust yourself, and when your vibration is the resonance of what you want, you will manifest it fast.
mm-hmm,
But when you try to vibrate that you want to manifest, but you have that resistance, even to
mm-hmm,
manifest the guy that you want,
mm-hmm,
even, I mean, for example, if you have the belief and the information and the memory in your cells
mm-hmm.
of rejection, you will always find guys that will reject you
Yeah, exactly,
sooner or later.
exactly,
So how can you
exactly.
in that place, it doesn't matter if you are working with high vibes,
Mm-hmm.
but if you don't change that deep vibe, that core belief of rejection,
Alive.
you won't manifest anything. You
Mm-hmm,
will
mm-hmm.
manifest only what you vibe from a core place.
Yes,
So
yes.
when you trust yourself, when you love yourself, when you value yourself, when
Mm-hmm,
you transmute all those rejection, abandonment, and victimization emotions and information
mm-hmm,
on yourselves, through that
mm-hmm,
moment, you
mm-hmm,
start, if you work on your high vibration, joy, loving yourself, having fun on your life, doing things that you love, really, really enjoying yourself and enjoying your life, even if things are not like you want, you just live and be grateful for living
yes.
life.
You fake
And
it until you make it.
then you will attract the guy, you will attract the money, you will attract the opportunities, because like Mafalda said, we are magnetizers. We are magnetic.
Well,
So
yeah.
when our energy is totally aligned with who you
You're
are,
supposed to be.
with who you're supposed to be, then everything starts happening. It's like
Yeah.
um, a flux of energy
Yes.
that that starts happening around you, and as long as you don't resist, because
Yes.
sometimes there are resistance. Oh, it's too good to be true. That's the problem. Too good to
Yes.
be true.
I
That
had
will
that
never happen to
experience.
me. A
That I
lot of
had that experience. I had that experience. I had that experience. Was the We talked about it very often.
uh,
I had a twin flame experience, and I said, "This is what I want, but I'm not ready, and this is too good to be true." I wasn't
mhm,
ready for the blessing,
yes. You
and
were
that's
resisting. You were
you were
resisting the
resisting. I
blessing.
was resisting, but how is it possible? Why is it possible? And it's a distortion of the mask. It's the distortion of the feminine energy, because when you have the feminine energy flourishing, you are
Mm-hmm.
able to receive gladly whatever the universe is giving it to you. Okay, and without feeling guilty or
Yeah.
feeling inadequate, or it means that you are entitled to it. You don't have to worry about it. um, and actually, there was a point that you made before, that about the hierarchical structure,
Mm-hmm.
that you have to do things with very a lot of hard work. And that's because most of us, we don't understand we are, through the manifestation techniques, our own authority.
Mm-hmm.
And when we are all our own authority, we can live in anarchy,
Mm-hmm.
because I will respect myself so much that therefore I respect the other equally.
Yes,
Yes,
definitely.
definitely. And that's, I hope that's the society we are leading
Mm.
ourselves to, because we are working on it.
Yeah, freedom is responsibility. Responsibility is freedom.
Yes, yes, exactly,
Mm-hmm.
exactly. And gratitude. And
In
gratitude.
gratitude, totally.
Yes.
Yeah.
What are from the clients that you have had, the one that you are the most proud of, that you have seen a wonderful development?
Uh, okay. She arrived this maybe 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
She arrived totally destroyed by her ex-husband
Mm-hmm.
that she was still meeting,
See.
but not officially.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they got divorced,
Yeah.
but they were still involved secretly,
Okay.
sexually,
Yes.
and that was killing her. That was totally killing her
Mm-hmm.
because she loved the guy. But what I'm most proud of is
Mm-hmm.
that after maybe 1 year, not even 1 year,
Mm-hmm.
she opened up her own company of
Mm-hmm.
selling beauty products.
Beautiful.
She find a twin flame,
Mm-hmm.
but her twin flame was not ready. It was a very, very strange case. He was not ready.
Mm-hmm.
So he hurt her. She suffered again. But the way she reacted
Was different.
was different. And she
Mm-hmm.
said, and when he came back maybe 6 months, he came back in Christmas, last Christmas, uh, 6 or 7 months later, she rejected him.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't want him anymore. And I said, I wanted you for more than 1 year. I waited for you because I know that you're special.
Mm-hmm.
And she rejected him, but
Mm-hmm.
with no anger. She rejected him with love for herself because
Mm-hmm.
he was a lot younger than her
Mm-hmm.
and he's totally immature. And it's not just because it's a twin flame that you have to keep to stay together.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of twin
No.
flames don't stay
Yeah.
together because when you find yourself and when you integrate yourself, all parts of you, you don't need a twin flame to be happy. Okay, so
Yes,
that
you are happy yourself. Yes.
this this client, she was the most transformative thing that I have seen. I mean, she was like a rap of a woman. Really, she was really rock bottom. But
Mm-hmm.
now I mean, she has her own business. She has 3 or 4 people working for her, and it's totally crazy. I mean, the way she got better in her life, in her self trust, in her confidence, and in
Mm-hmm.
her looks. She's beautiful now, and she's really
Mm-hmm.
and she's 34 years old.
Oh my God, she's so
Yes,
young.
she's so
Basically, what you did, you became her mother. You know, in
young.
order to orient
To orient,
those
yes.
energies.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Very good. Very good. Which type of services do you offer your clients?
Well, I make them find the true leader inside them,
Mm-hmm.
because being a leader, from what you can be already a good leader on your business, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but when you find your inner leader, your
Mm-hmm.
trust, your self trust,
Mm-hmm.
the way you do decisions, the way you choose the people that work with you, the way you actually present yourself to others is much more electric, magnetic, depending on who you are to others.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically my work. It's the way that you use your leadership, because when you find your inner leader, you
Mm-hmm.
work differently.
Mm-hmm.
um, you do things differently from an inner point of view,
Mm-hmm.
far beyond your mind. So
Mm-hmm.
you might be a good leader already. You have studied, you have done everything all right. But if sometimes things are not good in your work or in your life, or sometimes you are already a good leader in your company, but you can't lead your personal life, that's just a proof that you are not being a natural leader.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you are a real leader, you lead everything with comfort and joy and ease in your work, in your love life, and everything makes it's much easier. And that's basically my job is that.
Okay. What are, in your opinion, the qualities of a good leader? You said that you have to be a natural leader.
Mhm.
What are the qualities?
Coefficiency,
Mm-hmm.
okay? Coefficiency, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing who to value,
Mm-hmm.
um, and especially knowing with trust what is the best move for the company, what is the best move for this team. For example, you have four teams. What
Mm-hmm.
team do I send for this project? These people are well, with certain characteristics.
Mm-hmm.
Is for you to know exactly, with all your full trust, motivate that team to do whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why the team leaders should always have a leadership course as well, because it's not a leadership course, it's just finding the leader in you. It's not a
Mm-hmm.
leadership course, because leadership course is like intellectual, and this is not intellectual.
Is it an
This is
energetical?
inner, yes, energetical. It's your
Mm-hmm.
inner knowledge. It's
Mm-hmm.
different.
It's different.
So when you do that, you change everything in the way you lead your life, in the way you lead your business. So it's for all parts of your life, because a lot of good leaders
Mm-hmm.
have their personal lives a mess. And I've
Yeah,
seen that.
the way one manages the company is slightly different from the way you
Oh,
manage a
mm-hmm,
marriage,
yes.
which means that I can totally foresee that a man who's is very successful in a as an entrepreneur comes
Mhm.
home and he can't, I don't, I was going to speak in German. I was going to, er kann nicht eine Frau herumkommandieren.
I don't understand that, Mafalda. I don't understand that.
I was going to, I was going to say that he can't expect to arrive home and to command his woman to say,
Yes,
well, I need this done. I said, this.
yes,
Oh
because
boy.
the leader, when is your leader, inner leader,
Mm-hmm.
he is the guy or the woman
Mm-hmm.
that the basis is he humanizes all his life.
Mm-hmm.
So there is an empathy in everywhere he is, in his
Mm-hmm.
home with his wife or with her husband, in his
Mm-hmm.
work. So he's humanized, and that's the future of the world. We have to be empathetic
Empathy
with
with
each other.
ourselves and others. Yeah, to form
Yes.
seeing the other people's needs. And
Yes.
that's, I think that's the key. And we understand, we have empathy for others when we understand that we actually one. We are
Yes.
all one conscious. We are not
Mhm.
separated, and that's very helpful.
Mhm.
Anna, what is, in your opinion or in your experience, from the clients that you have had, between men and women? Why do women? I know you have more women that look for help, and
Mhm.
but also some, a few men that look for help. Why do they do it? What for? And what are the biggest differences?
I have a lot more women especially find me to their relationship problems.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Maybe 25-30% of those women um, are for professional evolution. They
Mm-hmm.
don't know, they feel stuck on a
Mm-hmm.
certain job, on a certain post. They want to be promoted, but they know how to value themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I start understanding there are so many injustices and people that are not being seen, and they have so many value, but they are not being seen on their work. And that's why we need leaders that know what are doing urgently.
Mm-hmm.
So women is that. Men is especially on professional problems. They feel stuck as well. They don't know if something is going to be well succeed. They are feeling insecure about the business. They are feeling insecure about the choices. But then 20 to 30% is relationships. The woman, they just got divorced and they are feeling very down. They don't know where to go in their personal lives. So
Mm-hmm.
it's the other way.
Mm-hmm.
Women take care more about the relationships. Men don't. Men is more a professional thing.
Mm-hmm.
But it's funny that when you start work, if you're a woman, you start working relationship, then your value is so much that you, okay, so what about professionally? What do I do? That you want to grow as well professionally. And
Yes.
men is the otherwise. Men is the other way. So
Mm-hmm.
when they work their professional value and their power, their leader to be good leaders, feeling their intuition, working through inner knowledge,
Mm-hmm.
that they feel so good being intuitive. That feminine side of them that is
It's a click.
yes, it's a click
And
that they ask in the end, what about my love life? I only have these strange relationships with empty women. So you see, so that's the difference
yes, yes,
between.
and we actually have talked about it. Is that we mentioned it one of our first talks that women we both do tarot and we both do astrology and human designs, because we use those tools to see which parameters in our personality we need to use to achieve our highest best self. So we did it for ourselves when we do it for others. So, and we both talk about it that for women, the women they go to achieve the professional success, they need to explore their spirituality. And then by that they attract the right man, and by that they also attract the right profession. And the man is the opposite, is exactly as you have said. They work on the professional, and by that they know themselves better. And then a woman, because when you have a company, is to you learn the capability how to please. And the man has to learn how to please, and to know how to please, you have to have empathy to know what that person needs, which needs do they have that I can fulfill them, and they have to lay out the strategy to fulfill them. And the woman needs to develop her spirituality with the techniques, because the woman is the bridge between the reality and the spiritual realm. And she needs to develop her spirituality to be the best link or the best bridge, to the spirituality. And when they are both the highest best self connected to divine, there is an interaction with chakras. So the man is worried with the man when they are making love, because when they are making love, they have a machine of transformation and transmutation of the reality. The man sets his intentions into the woman, and the woman is the incubator. And through the orgasm, she sends those intentions, those ideas to the ether. And then they are able to manifest faster. And that's the reason why most women, they are desperate to find a man, and men are desperate to find a woman, because unconsciously we both understand that how the connection between a man and a woman works, and why do we need it, and why the family is the organizational, the basis that satisfies the most emotional needs. And yes, and in order, and according to other authors that I've read, a man needs 12 years in love with the same woman at least in order to reach the divine, in order to have a 13 cranial nerve being created in his brain, because women, we already have that connects into the divine. Until then, he can only feel the divine through the woman. And he needs to love the woman for 12 years at least in order to have that. And it's amazing that the more you understand biology and those things, you really understand the power of being a co-creator, and that's wonderful. And that's wonderful. What are your intentions with this project that we are both organizing?
To reach the maximum person possible, so that there is a balance of energies in a planet.
Yes.
Basically, is that from this project we do, which is mainly working with empowerment, is from my part is to, which I believe is yours too. I mean, you have different methods, but that's the point is to balance energies, to people find out that they can do, to people find out that they are empowered beings that can live in love, peace, abundance, if they find the power within themselves.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay, so that's it in a short way.
Yes,
Uh,
exactly.
that's it.
Exactly.
That's it.
You don't need validation from the outside in order to become your highest best self. You know,
Yeah, exactly.
exactly.
Hmm.
There is nothing from the outside that you need that's going to become better. It's
Yeah,
from the inside out, because it's our the reality we're going to live. And once you
exactly.
understand that, you
When you be
understand the yes, yes, yeah. Anna, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
okay. When you became your higher self, when you integrate that divine conscious in you,
Yes, exactly.
um, everything, I mean, you just see that way and you find your way easily because
Yes.
you stop. My light is
Yes,
fading.
yes. I think
uh,
that I
I
think that
think that
it's
every time I talked about this, the light is just.
they are talking to us. They are talking to us.
They're talking to us. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Great.
It's,
Oh my God. Okay. Go on, Mafalda. I'll do another light here.
yes, we have to understand that the empowerment is always inside of us. So we just need to take the seven deadly sins and transform them
Mm-hmm.
into seven virtues. Okay, per chakra.
Yes.
And we
Mm-hmm.
can't forget that the three lower chakras are male and the three upper chakras are uh, are feminine, are magnetism. Okay, so
Yes.
um, because due to technical issues, we are going to shut our conversation short. However, we will come again better and more prepared with several lamps just in case this
Several
happens. So
lamps just in
thank
case.
just thank you very much for being here with us. Okay, I love you very much, Anna, and
I
talk
love
to you.
you too, Mafalda.